We're going to go ahead and start with the chart for dust. The Dow Jones. Today was a very interesting day. It capitalized on yesterday's uptrend and got one step closer back to the resistance. This is pretty common. After a while, it's come to terms with its losses. It'll get back up to the 8-day average, like we always say. But the overall trend is still lower. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens tonight with the whole Iran deal, where Iran has, I guess, some of our Navy boats in their custody. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out tomorrow. And also the Turkey terrorist attack that happened this morning. It's going to be interesting how the market reacts to that, depending on what the guidance is afterwards. But it's the same old deal with the Dow Jones. We predicted that it's going to come back up one or two times. It may even touch that resistance at 16.7. It will come back down. We think so. It'll meet the 8-day average halfway, then come back down a little bit. It could even be tomorrow, based on some of the factors I listed earlier. We are in Nugt, so we are betting on a little bit lower day tomorrow. Gold is going to go up again, based on the whole Iran deal with the U.S. Navy. We think that came in towards the end of the market today, and that's definitely going to, at least for the short term, pre-market move some of the markets. Nothing too much to talk about when it comes to the dollar. Again, we discussed the other day. We think it's going to come back up to 99.50 to make that V. It had that chance today. There was just no power behind it. It tried its best. It got up to close to 99.35 as a high, but closed only 6 cents higher. Now the CCI looks a little bit better. It is moving towards the 100 line, and we have the MACD, which is still above zero, but sort of flat. This is not a good sign. If a stock stays flat for too long, it becomes complacent, and then it usually tends to fall down lower. It's almost as if the USD is looking for a reason to fall, and with the guidance from the Fed coming up, it may just be waiting for that to see what happens next before it makes this big move. Overall, no big change. It did bounce off from yesterday as far as from support, and it can definitely get up to 99.50. It got close to that today and probably come back down. Gold was the same old story. It finally touched its support, and usually when it does that, there's a one quick positive day, and that's what we're hoping for in getting to Nugt tonight. And with that, it went ahead and touched its 8-day support as well. So the 20 days catching up, the 50 days below now, and the 8-day support is met, and we could look for a quick bounce tomorrow, probably to 10.95, just to even out what we lost today, and go from there. So because we bought Nugt, we're just hoping for a quick bounce in the morning. Depending on how the Asian markets do tonight, they I believe just opened up at 7 p.m. our time. So we'll keep an eye on that as well before we end our video. Let's go ahead and talk about Dust. Dust has another really good day today. It went all the way up to close to 12%, and it's following our lines. We could have almost predicted that. We sold early this morning. We sold at our 20-day average, which was close to $16. And it touched 17, which is our second line, and it came back down. This tells us that, again, the bear in any inverse ETF relationship is going to guide the movement, because that is something that traders can look at, chart to, and scale to. So when we see Dust like this, had a quick run, hit that support and resistance, then came back down. Tomorrow seems to be almost a mystery. We don't know what's going to do tomorrow. CCI got above zero, and the MACD has just crossed, but it's below zero, and we've been in that position before. If you look at 2016, right around there. It came up to the 20-day average, and it dropped again. And that's exactly what we see here today. It got close to the 20-day average, and it's about to come back down. So nothing too exciting. If you were in it all day today, you probably should have sold earlier. And if you rode it till about lunch, you made about 12%. So anywhere between 4 to 12 was your gain today. We got out at about 5, around that price point. Nugget is what we are in today, and although it looks like it was a very bad day because of the gap between yesterday and today, we think it is again touching the support of $22. And again, since November, we've said this in various videos in the past, it's been hitting that $22 range, bouncing up, coming back down, and bouncing up. It did the same thing today. It touched 22, came back a little bit higher before close. The last hour was a positive hour, and we think tomorrow gold will do a quick bounce so we can get some profit off of that. We're expecting anywhere from 2 to 4%. We don't think anything more is going to be there to add. As far as the stocks we normally talk about, this is pretty much it. It has been pretty uneventful for the last 2 days. It has been going exactly the way we thought it was going to go. But we did have a special request to chart 2 more ETFs, and these are also inverse like Dust and Nugget, but they follow natural gas, and they're from a company called Velocity, I believe. The first one is called UGAZ, and this is the Velocity shares long natural gas. So this is going to be your bull compared to your bear, which is your inverse for natural gas. Again, like we discussed earlier, the bear is going to be the one that's going to move the markets. The bull, all the burn is on the bull to make the move. Bear will be going in and out, and just like Dust, has great potential to feed off of. So if you were to buy either UGAZ or DGAZ, I would put my money on DGAZ, the bear, of course, the Dust of the two. And this is our reason why. First of all, look at the CCI. It's coming down below 0. Natural gas had its run. Now it's time to come back down to reality. Just like, all natural resources. It's been a hot winter, or warmer, I should say, winter. Not much natural gas is being used. And we see the support at $2 for this one. So right now it's closer to 2 than it is to 2.65, and this does move in 65-cent increments. So our money is at $2, and we can also see that the MACD got to the 0 point line, and now it's coming back down. It will make another dip at 2, come back at 2.65, then it can jump right back up to 3.30 in a matter of days. So as of the short term, if you're buying today or tomorrow, my money will be on DJAZ. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and take a look at DJAZ. You will see the sporadic jumps like we do in Dust. This one moves in a $1.38 pattern, which is almost 10% per cycle. Right now we see it just peak over the $12.90 resistance, which can definitely lead to a $14 price point. It is currently touching the 8-day average. Now all stocks or ETFs come back to the 8-day average. UGAZ started at the 8-day average today and it came down. So maybe it'll come down one more day and then come back up to the 8-day average. Whereas DJZ is at the 8-day average. Now, if DJZ comes up tomorrow, even we may get into DJZ and ride it up to the $14 level. The signs are there. We're just going to wait for a little bit more confirmation before we get in and ride it up a little bit longer. CCI finally passed the negative 100 point. It's been there for a couple of days. it has to get close to 100